there, it is me, Lisa, the love coach here, Lisa Concepcion, founder of lovequestcoaching.com, where you can go and grab your free love life assessment. You answer some questions, you come and tell me everything you have going on, and I give you specific answers that you're looking for that suit your specific thing that you're going through. That said, let's dig in. Today, I am talking about how to use law of attraction scripting. I love to do the scripting to manifest any desire that you have. Yep, any desire. One technique works for everything. I love this thing. It's called scripting, and I did it I've done it for a while, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did in 2020, the year 2020, and what I'm going to do for 2021 as far as manifesting things into my life, and how interesting things go when you script it out and you really think about the things that you want to achieve and the things that you want to manifest in the year coming. So I'm going to get into that, but first, I want to talk about what scripting even is. I don't know if anybody here maybe didn't know about it, hasn't heard of this magic, or maybe you're surfing around YouTube and you want to find more info on scripting. So I'm going to give you a deep dive on what it actually is. Basically, when we are doing scripting, we are using storytelling. We are taking a journal, a notebook. I have my notebook right here, juicy notebook. And I use it as, for scripting. And what you do is you basically are thinking visually. You're thinking about a thing that you want, or a circumstance, a situation, a thing that you want to call into your life. And then you're writing a story in the present tense about how it happened and how great it feels now that it happened. So I'll give you an example. Like in 2020, I used scripting to write out what I wanted in a new car. So I was in the market for a new car. I decided okay, I'm going to try to see if this is the year that I get a new car. So I scripted out the kind of things that I wanted in this new car. And I also scripted how I wanted to feel. So how it looks or how it sounds is, I'm so happy and grateful right now that I am driving in my case, it was a new BMW, and I feel so safe and secure and happy and abundant in this car. I love it when the music is on and the windows are open, and I am having such a good time weaving and going with this car. It's like everything I think I want to do in this car, I just do it and it goes and it's easy. And I love how I feel when I pull up places in this car, and I just feel so abundant and it's wonderful. And you just keep going, and you could even get really super specific. Like if you want to say it has a sport package and it has this and it's, the kind of satellite radio, whatever, all the things that you want in this car. That's what I did, right? And I put myself in it visually. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And it's going to feel so great. And I tapped into the feeling of it and I wrote it out. I did it for that. And then I also did it for a new home. I decided in 2020, the start of 2020, when I was doing intentional scripting for the year, that there were certain things that I wanted to up level in my life. One of which was my car. The other was my living arrangement. I wanted to move into a different place to live, right? So I didn't know exactly what, it wasn't, I have this longer term script where it's a palace in the sky, and I'm getting closer and closer to that. I still script about that as a longer term goal. But what's interesting is as I script for the other goals, smaller things happen in my life. Like this year, I was able to move out of Miami and to Sarasota, Florida. And I did this because I scripted it out. I scripted out exactly how I wanted to feel in my new living space. And I believe that in doing that, it brought me to where I live now. So I have a Christmas tree in my house because it's Christmas time. And I have this really nice higher ceilings, although you can't really see them because I'm sitting low. But bigger, just everything was bigger, more modern. Just much more square footage and a modern kitchen and all these nice appliances and a beautiful bathroom. Like all the things that I said I wanted I was able to script it out and manifest it. And I remember how this is interesting because the boyfriend I had at the time, we were on my balcony, we had music going, and we were scripting. I had a notebook and we were writing down all the things that we want in a place that we would live in together. And I remember saying to my girlfriends, I said, even if it doesn't work out with my boyfriend and we end up not moving in together, I am definitely moving. And I am I declared it. I am doing this. And I spoke in terms of the I am. So it's just a really fun way to help along with manifesting. It's just super fun. Jennifer says, I would pretend that I was driving a Mustang while I drove my beaten up car. Then I kept seeing Mustangs everywhere and then I got one. Perfect example. So visualization is so powerful. So sometimes if you're thinking of moving into a new home, you could actually close your eyes and visualize moving in your home, opening the door. What does it look like when you move in? You walk in right into your front hallway or whatever. And then what's the layout like? And sometimes you can even draw out the floor plan. You can say, here's where my closet is. And then you go through and then you know, there's this in the bathroom or whatever. And you can just sketch out exactly what your living arrangement will be. So that's a very cool thing to do. And I often give the analogy of like architecture of your life, right? So imagine you're an architect and you have this like blank, this blank page, and you get to create exactly what you want, exactly how it's all going to happen. And you could, you know, like an architect, they have this blank paper and they take their ruler and whatever, and they build this amazing building and whatever, and they have a vision in their head and then they make it come out on the page. So scripting is exactly the same thing. Scripting is a law of attraction technique that involves writing in detail about the reality that you want to manifest. And it involves letting your imagination take hold and then communicating all of your imagination, what you see, what you want, through words written out on the page. Okay, so here are the reasons why scripting is so awesome. It allows you to build huge faith in something higher that's guiding you, whether it be God, the universe, you know, both of it. I always say, you know, God and the universe working in my advantage. But it really shows you how to build faith, that you can ask for what you want, right? You're allowed, and that there's something benevolent and bigger that is guiding you towards all of the things that you want. So that's a really good thing. It's about building faith. Another thing is that it allows you to access all the feelings and the emotions behind the desires that you have. So you have to tap into the feeling. You're going to hear me say this over and over again. It's not just saying, I want this thing. It's the feeling of it. Like Jennifer earlier commented, she said, I actually was driving my banged up car envisioning that I was driving this Mustang. And then a few months later, she got it. And so one of the things to do, if you'd like, it's a great way to put yourself in the feeling, is take a car for a test drive. If you want a certain car and you're in the market for a certain car and it's your dream car, but maybe you're not even in the market. Maybe you're just like, I just want to see what it feels like. Go test drive one. Why not? They don't have to know that your timing isn't now. You could say, oh, I'm going to, in fact, this is a really cool trick. When you go to, because I've been doing this here since I moved to Sarasota, I've been seeing open houses, and I just drive up and I park in front and I just go to an open house. Now, I don't know if I could afford this house. I mean, I have no idea. I'm not going for that. I'm not going to it for that. I am going simply to get in the feeling of what it's like to step into that house, what I feel like when I'm, wow, this is awesome, and I want a kitchen like that, but I am physically standing in this kitchen. So there is a visualization that's happening. It's making my mind believe that this is real. It exists. I'm standing right in this beautiful kitchen. So when you have that in your mind, you can easily manifest it, or something closer, but definitely something greater than where you're at. And the same happens for when you are looking to manifest a car, certain things, even things that you might see in a store, like a jacket or some jewelry. Put it on your finger. You want to get engaged? Put an engagement ring on your finger. Start to visit. I have a Rolex watch that I have been visiting in stores for years. And I'm like, I'm going to get this watch. This is going to be my watch. I'm going to take the Rolex I have and I'm going to trade it in and I'm going to get this one. And I know it's going to happen. It's going to be so awesome when I do it. And I had literally the watch on my wrist. I snapped a picture of it. I have it in my phone and I look at it and it's my wrist with the watch on it. And it's such a feeling of accomplishment. And it's like, wow, yay me that I was able to buy this for myself. I bought the other one back when I turned 35 and now I'm turning 50 and it'd be so cool to like take my watch, trade it in for the next one that I want because I have a thing with watches. It makes me so happy. And, you just feel like the feeling attached to the thing that you want. And so, people watch this and they're like, oh, but that's so materialistic. Like, it's really not. You're allowed to want what you want. And I think that a lot of people have to get over the stigma that other people put on them for wanting what they want. It doesn't matter. It's your desire. You can have whatever you desire. You're allowed to desire it. That's what's so beautiful about living in an abundant universe. You can desire anything, and the more that you have, the more you can share, right? So moving right along, another reason why I love scripting so much is because it helps you get clarity. It helps you to get really super clear about what you want. When you're writing it out and scripting it out and you're speaking in terms of, I'm so happy and grateful right now that I did this thing, attracted this thing, have this thing. I feel amazing. Every time I do this, I feel this. And you can just go in it deeper and deeper. I have done with clients who hire me for coaching, super fun in a Google Doc scripting techniques where I pose a bunch of different questions to help them get their mind in the way of thinking these big dreams and getting it out on the page. And then I go in there and I'm like, and what about this? And then they keep writing, oh my God, that's right, I forgot about that. And then what about this? And then they keep going and keep going. And it's building so much joy just talking about this thing that they want that it makes it powerful. It makes it palpable. You can actually feel the feeling of this thing that you want and how great it feels to be in that situation of visualizing yourself in the future when you have it. Like you're tapping into your future self. So scripting also allows you to communicate in word form. So if you have a problem with visualizing, because a lot of people do, they get very jumbled in their brains and maybe they can visualize for a little while, but then they like lose focus. When you're writing, you can stay in the visual more. You can write and describe what it is that you see about the life or about the thing that you desire. And yeah, declare it and thank God. Absolutely. I always write my scripts as thank you letters to God. I always say, God, I'm so happy and grateful right now that you blessed me with this beautiful place to live. And I love my bedroom and I love my new 1,000 thread count sheets. I never had 1,000 thread count sheets ever, but then I did just this year. I was writing like, I love being in my comfy bed and the sheets are so soft. And when I climb into bed, it just feels so delicious. And I have the dog with me and we're all squishy and loving up on each other. And it's just so sweet and, snug. And I just really got into the feeling. And what ended up happening, I manifested 1,000 thread count sheets on sale from a Macy's website. These sheets are divine. They're like $300 sheets. And I got them for like $40. It was crazy sale that like this has to be a manifestation because it's just too crazy. So these are the things, like the universe and God will like line everything up just as you need it to be to give you the things that you want. This is exactly what happened with my car. I had no idea what kind of car I was going to end up with. I just knew that my car at the time was like on its last leg. I had this car for 16 years. I absolutely loved this car, and I gave it a name and I gave it a soul, and I would always appreciate this car. I'd be like, Klausy, I love you so much, and I know you're getting older, and I hope that you bring me a car that I can love just as much as I love you, and it's gonna feel so good for me when I get this new car. And I was just like speaking about it as if it is happening, it is coming, I know this, and it did. And it came in a really interesting way. So what happened was I just got an inspired thought to ask my stepdad to help me research a new car. And I told him how much I wanted to spend per month. And, you know, this was the range I was in for prices. And he went off, and I just was like, let him have fun. Let him see what, you know, what comes up in that range. And I did the same. I looked at stuff on my range, and I was like, wow, I can get actually something pretty good with this. So it actually was amazing because I saw this one car that I really liked, and the morning I went to go see it, someone came before me, test drove it, bought it, and left. And it was a 3 Series, I think it was like a 330 BMW, and I ended up getting a bigger one. I got a bigger 530 Sport BMW. I love it so much. Certified pre-owned. It is badass. This car is amazing. I love it. But the thing is, I didn't know I was getting that car. I just was like, all right, I'll go test drive whatever. I test drove Mercedes. I test drove Infiniti, I think. Which was actually a quite cool car. I didn't like Mercedes at all. I didn't even test drive it. I sat in it and I was like, I don't like this car at all. And the vibe, the energy, it just wasn't my car. And then I kept searching and I found my car, Captain America. I named him Captain America because he's blue and he's patriotic and I love him. And I sat in him and it felt perfect. Perfect. I was like, this is my car. And so tapping into the feeling, right, is the thing that you want to do. And so when I sat in this car and the feeling was a match to when I was scripting and I was feeling the vibe, I'm like, I knew that this was my car. So that's the other thing I love about scripting, is that you get so tapped into the feeling of the thing that you want that when it comes, you know it's right. You don't doubt yourself at all. So it really gives a lot of confidence. It puts you in a state of confidence because you're like, oh wait, this is exactly how I felt when I was scripting this, when I was desiring this. And now I'm feeling the same feeling, so it has to be it, right? You don't have that doubt and uncertainty. Oh, is this my car? I don't know. You're like, no, this is mine. And it could happen with a home. It could happen with a job. It can happen with a lover, anything. So, okay, how do you make the script sticky so that it works? So here's what happens to make it count, right? So like I said before, you want to script in the present tense. I like to use, thank you God so much. I am so happy and grateful right now that I have this new car. I love it so much. I love the way it drives. I love when the windows are down and the roof is open and I'm just kind of hanging out and the music is going good and it's just so fun. And I love parking it in parking spaces. I love that it has the cameras everywhere. And you just go off, right, on whatever it is that you want, right? But you use the present tense. I am, I have, I get to, I go here, I am on a vacation. I'm so happy and grateful right now that I am on a vacation in Hawaii. I'm staying at a beautiful hotel, and it's right on the ocean, and I get to hear the ocean at night. I sleep with the windows and the balcony door open, and it's just this breeze coming through. Put yourself there, really put yourself there, and write it out. The present tense is super powerful because it puts the energy out there that the desire that you're wishing to attract is already yours, because in essence it already is. Now this is where we get into like quantum physics and the quantum realm. Basically, the thing that we think of as a desire, the thing that we say we want, it actually exists. We just aren't seeing it in physical form. But just the thought of it, the spoken word of it, the desire of it means that energetically it exists. And so it's just, the work is just to make it manifest in form. but it already exists. So if you don't believe it already exists, then you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're repelling the very thing that you want, because it's untrue. It exists because I think it. If it's a thought that God put in my head, then that means God can bring it to me. God does not put thoughts and desires in us that he cannot bring to us. So it's just a matter of our faith. And a lot of people struggle with having faith, which is belief in the unseen. They need to see it in order to believe it. And that's not how this works. You have to believe it and then you see it. So it could be a little confusing because our scripts are often written like about us in the future, like a future us. And so that can be a little confusing because people are like, but I'm here now and this is what I have now. But if you can tap into a future version of yourself and talk about life from that point of view, then you will have an amazing, amazing script. And again, it's tapping into like the emotional side of it, for sure. And this is what'll help with that, which is the second thing. Be really super detailed. Details, details, details. You can't go wrong in the details. The only thing is, don't get like obsessive and hung up on every detail. What you're using are the details to bring the pictures in your mind so you can feel very, very connected to it in a good way, in like an uplifting way. But if let's say you say, I want a new car, and in 2021, I'm definitely getting a new car, and you're like, yeah, and this car is red, and it's amazing, and whatever, right? You're like detailed about the kind of car it is, and then all of a sudden, let's say you come across, a sweepstakes to win a car, and all of a sudden you're inspired to fill it out, and you're like, whatever, I'll fill it out. I need a new car. Why not? And all of a sudden, you end up getting a phone call that says, hey, congratulations, you won this car. And it might not be red. It might not be a sport coupe that you said you wanted, but it could be something amazing, even better, that you're like, yeah, I'll totally take that. That's amazing. And then you ended up winning it. So it ended up turning out better. So point is, don't get super hung up on the how of it. Just let yourself have fun in playing with the ideas that come to mind about the things that you desire, and get in touch to the feeling of it. Number 3, you should express how it feels. Again, the feeling of having this thing. I am so happy and grateful right now that I have this beautiful palace in the sky. My palace in the sky. Oh, it feels so good when I go into the elevator knowing that there's a key security thing that I have to swipe so no one can come to my floor except me or guests that are announced. It's amazing security. Feels so good and safe and secure. And then I love, love, love when I get up in the elevator and the doors open right onto my floor of my palace in the sky, and it's all bright. Depending on the time of day, the light totally changes because the sun rises on one side and it sets on the other. And I love how at any point in the day, the light just moves so perfectly throughout this place. I feel so good here. And I love it when I have my massage therapist and my acupuncturist, and they come and they give me my treatments right on my wraparound balcony. They go out there and the breeze comes off the water. It's absolutely spectacular. I feel delicious. I feel so relaxed and happy in this place. See, so that was example, but of me doing a verbal scripting, but I can also do them written scripting, and that's what scripting is. It's the written form. It's everything I just said spoken, but I would write it out. And I'm definitely tapping into the feeling that's putting me there. It's actually transporting me energetically to this future place, in this future situation, home, job, whatever, and I'm feeling the feeling of it then. That definitely want to express gratitude. So that's very important. So the 4th thing is be mindful of your words and speak the thing you want from a place of gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful right now that I have this thing, that I am going to this place. I am so happy and grateful right now that I am on vacation in Hawaii, going sightseeing. I'm going in a helicopter to go look at, all kinds of things, rainforests and beautiful plants and volcanoes and whatever, right? So you put yourself there visually and you write out everything that you are envisioning on the paper. And it's an incredible, incredible tool. And then finally, it needs to be believable. This is the part that trips everybody up. It needs to be believable. So one of the common things that people get tripped up on is that people dream really big, which isn't a problem. It's always good to dream big, but they get stuck envisioning the believability of it. They're like, yeah, I can put myself in this mansion house, or I can, put myself visually in like a Lamborghini or whatever it is that you want, right? But sometimes if there's energy of disbelief in you, it'll actually make you feel worse, right? It'll make you feel worse. So this is the thing that people often get tripped up on, that I love coaching around this. I love doing manifestation coaching. It's super fun because it can happen pretty quick, right? When you get into a place of, there's a thing that I want, like the girl who just weighed in on this, Jennifer, she was telling me when we were coaching together that she wanted a new car. She was talking about this car. She was talking about a car situation. She wasn't very attached to it, but it was something that would come up. And it's just amazing that in the time that we started working with each other, she had like this whole other car and all this car drama. And she would talk about it. And then all of a sudden she just flipped her feeling and her state of being to being a person who's getting a new car. She was like, I'm getting a new car. There's no way I can keep this car anymore. Something's going to happen with the car. And it was just fascinating to see how in your mind you can switch from, this is a crap situation, to, I'm going over here and over here exists and it's going to happen for me. And I'm so excited that it's going to happen for me. And then, scripting it. And she said she would envision herself driving that car while in her car, her present car. And then she'd see the car that she wanted everywhere. And then she ended up getting one. So she believed. She didn't think that it was out of reach. She didn't focus on, how is this going to happen? She didn't care. She just said, I feel it. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Amazing. So believing in your script is essential if you want to make it real. If you want this thing to happen, you need to believe in what it is you're writing. And if you totally believe that you can have it, even though these dreams are big, right? Wow, this is a big dream. But if you think there's no way in hell I can have that, you won't. But if you're like, you know what, it's possible. Why not? If I see it in my mind, it can happen. So I'm going to script about it. So that is day one about scripting. And I just wanted to use it to get you into the mindset of what it is. Scripting is simply writing out what it is that you desire in story form in the present tense. So you tell a little story about how you manifested love in your life, how you met, who this person is. And I'm going to go deeper into that as the days go on. So day one was just about what scripting is, why it's so powerful, how to do it, the reasons why it's so powerful. And then tomorrow we're going to get into, I will tell you exactly what we're going to get into. We are going to get into when to script, doing it as a morning routine. And then the questions that you ask yourself about scripting your day. And then scripting the week, scripting the month, and scripting the year. So we're going to get into that because we're coming up on 2021. And I'm sure that people watching want to manifest amazing stuff in 2021. I know I do. And so we're going to talk exactly about how to exactly do that through scripting. I'll bring you that tomorrow. Thanks so much. And if you are catching this on YouTube and you want to hang with me, head on over to lovequestcoaching.com. That's lovequestcoaching.com. Grab your free love life assessment. And then if you want coaching as far as manifestation goes, you can certainly send me an email through lovequestcoaching.com. And I love coaching about manifestation. It's amazing. I manifested new car, new place to live, doubled my business since I started it. So it's just amazing. And I've used all these tools that I've learned from other coaches, and I'm still manifesting and still growing it and still, tapping into new things that I want. So Let's all manifest greatly. We're worth it. We're worth all our dreams coming true. I'm Lisa the Love Coach on Instagram, at Lisa the Love Coach. You can find me on Instagram if that's your jam. Follow me there and I'll follow you back. And otherwise, I will reach out with you guys and hang with you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.